Plutarch says the following: Themistocles' greatest achievement was to end all the inter-Greek fighting and get the various states to come to terms with one another by persuading them that their hostilities should take second place to the war with Persia. And so it's precisely that persuasion of getting the Greeks to stop fighting each other and join together in a larger cause that was Themistocles' greatest achievement. And that unity together is what those great powers are that Thucydides is referring to in paragraph 15. They're going to be the various leagues. But the reason that this is mysterious right now is because this is Thucydides already knowing what happens in building up to the war after the events of the archaeology that we're still in. And so now we're in a better position to turn back to Thucydides to understand that passage and also prepared for what Thucydides is about to say on that topic as well. And that's going to involve the pettiness of all the tyrants that popped up back in paragraph 13 after the period of instability due to the long delay of the Greeks back from Troy that then paved the way for a long period of rest. But first we have this brief paragraph 16 that follows paragraph 15 that we've been exploring here. And so I'll just read what Thucydides says in it. Different states encountered different obstacles to growth. In the case of the Ionians, they were making great progress when King Cyrus and the Persians, after conquering Croesus, invaded all the territory between the river Halys and the sea and enslaved the cities on the mainland. And later, Darius used his Phoenician fleet to conquer the islands too. Okay, and so that's the entirety of the paragraph. And it might seem odd, but notice what the theme there was: growth and the obstacles to growth. And precisely that encompasses everything that we turn to Plutarch's Themistocles to understand about paragraph 15. And so what paragraph 16 is doing is it's providing an introductory commentary on the very important but perplexing subjects that arose in 15, namely undertaking distant expeditions, foreign conquests, and common unity in great power, which is to say the leagues, what Plutarch told us was the greatest accomplishment of Themistocles. And we're going to see the relevance of all that immediately in paragraph 16, where Thucydides is going to refer back to those mysterious tyrannies that cropped up previously in paragraph 13 after the slow growth of Greece from the long period of instability that was caused because of the 10-year delay of the Greeks returning from Troy, which itself was because the Greeks that went to Troy didn't have the requisite techne to get the job done efficiently and in a timely manner. And so what we're witnessing is what I've mentioned a few times already, namely that techne is not simply advancement in things non-human for human purposes, such as the triremes. Techne, or technology, is that, but it's also more. Politics is itself an art, politike, the art of politics. And we're witnessing both of these being juxtaposed so that they can go hand in hand, as Minos used them in establishing the first navy as a ruler. And that's what we're going to see here in paragraph 17, namely the importance of techne for great expeditions and techne for unity of peoples for power. And so just continuing into paragraph 17, this is what Thucydides says. As for the tyrants in Greek cities, their first thoughts were always for themselves, for their personal well-being and the aggrandizement of their private households. And they therefore ran their cities with safeguarding this foremost in their minds, and never achieved anything significant except in individual actions against their neighbors. And those in Sicily did indeed make very great advances in power this way. But nonetheless, Greece, on all sides, and for a long time, was held back from accomplishing anything notable in terms of joint action, and the individual cities were lacking in enterprise. Now, it's particularly helpful for us to understand the word that's being used there for lacking enterprise. The Greek is etalmotera eine, where the word eine just simply means to be. And so it's etalmotera that is so crucial here, because its meaning is cowardly, or lacking spirit, or lacking courage, or most especially lacking daring. And remember, it's daring that is so absolutely crucial for our ability to understand the greatness that is Greekness, according to Thucydides. And so what we're seeing here is that the pettiness of the tyrants, always acting only on behalf of their own self-aggrandizement, making it impossible for them to achieve anything in unity, has the consequence that Greece as a whole lacks daring. Now, I just need to point out the exception that's being made for Sicily, which is just hilarious, because Sicily is always going to be the exception to the rule. And it seems to be the case that Thucydides is planting the seeds all along the way in his account of the Peloponnesian War for why it is that the Greeks end up with a kind of obsession for Sicily. But Athens in particular is going to have this obsession